Orchids Part 2. Orchids are currently, with about 28,000 accepted species, the second biggest group of flowering plants worldwide. This diversity and the wide distribution beg the question: how can you identify an orchid? The structure of the orchid flower is a key characteristic in identifying them. Orchid flowers are monosymmetrical. This means that both halves of the flower mirror each other. One special attribute of the orchid flower is that the female parts are fused to the so-called column and the male parts are fused together to a pollinarium that sits protected under the anther cap. 3 sepals, outer circle of flower petals, and 3 petals, inner circle of flower petals, form the flower. One of the petals differs greatly from the other 2 and forms the lip of the flower where pollinators can land on the flower. Orchids steal, lie, cheat, and look impudently good while doing so. Most flowering plants offer nectar to attract pollinators and reward them for their visit. Orchids, on the other hand, usually trick their pollinators into pollinating them and stick the pollinarium onto the animal without rewarding it for the visit. Some orchids evolved to look very similar as other flowers nearby so the pollinators can't tell the difference. Others even look like female insects and even smell like them to trick the male insects into copulation and sticking the pollinarium onto the insects before they even realize that they got tricked. Orchids also differ in their reproduction strategy and count on quantity before quality. Instead of producing few seeds with enough nutrient tissue to support the germinating seedlings, orchids produce thousands and sometimes even millions of seeds per seed pod that are easily distributed by wind over a wide area. The downside is that very few of the seeds ever germinate. Without the nutrients from the mother plant, orchid seeds need help from the environment in form of special fungi in order to germinate. Some orchids have a symbiosis with these fungi, and as soon as the orchid fully developed leaves, it gives back nutrients to the fungus, rewarding it for its initial help. Other orchids take advantage of the fungus for all of their life and force it to supply them with nutrients. Some orchid species even lost their ability to develop chlorophyll in their leaves and live as constant parasites of fungi or other plants. This characteristic makes it peculiarly difficult to propagate rare orchids. Without the environmental fungi, the seeds have to be grown on special nutrient media under sterile conditions in a laboratory. Orchids conquered every environment on Earth with the exception of the dry deserts and Antarctica, and can be found all over the world. Also in Austria there are many terrestrial orchid species you can find in flower from spring to autumn on special places.